Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a number sense and computation review of just 7th grade standard stuff. So let's just get right at it. There's a lot that we're going to do here. So the joke for the day is this: how do you get an elephant out of the water? How do you get an elephant out of the water? Let's get going. Okay, so first off, we're not going to do all these, but the prime factorization of each number using exponents. If you break down 48, if you go ahead and do that, 48, you're going to break that baby down. 48 breaks down to 6 and 8, 6 breaks down to 3 and 2, 8 breaks down to 4 and 2, 4 breaks down to 2 and 2. Circle all your prime numbers. So we have 2 to the 4th times 3, and that's my answer. You can do 75 and 200 the exact same way. Next one. On this one, find the value of each expression. The square root of 49. What number times itself makes 49? 7. What number times itself makes 144? 12. Next one. Describe the relationship between the expressions in each example, guys. 6 to the second and square root of 36. The square root of 36 would be 6. So all this is saying is what number times itself makes 36, which is 6 squared. What number times itself makes 64? 8 squared. Okay, and so on. Next one. On this one, list the numbers from least to greatest and then plot them on a number line. Guys, if you're going least to greatest, look at your negative ones first. You want to make them all decimals too. So you have this right here, negative 5 over 2. So you're going to actually turn that to the right and divide. So if you turn it to the right, 5 is going to be on the inside, 2 on the outside. 2 goes into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, you get 1. Put a decimal, 0. Decimal straight up, 0 straight down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So that's really a negative 2.5. And this right here is going to be 3 point. We got to turn the 3/5 to the right and divide. 5 doesn't go into 3. Put a decimal and 0. Take the decimal straight up. 5 goes into 30 6 times. So it's going to be 3.6. So now we can begin to look at this. The square root of 5, you would need your calculator. You know it's slightly over 2 though, okay, because the square root of 4 is 2. So this is between 2 and 3, somewhere in between 2 and 3, just slightly over 2, 2 point something. So if I'm looking at this, my smallest number is the negative 2.5. So negative 5 over 2. Then my negative 2.2. Then I know it's going to be the square root of 5 because that's somewhere between 2 and 3. Then it's going to be my pi, which is 3.14159. And this 3.6. Well, 3.1 is smaller than 3.6. So pi comes next, and then 3 and 3/5. And if we had to put these on a number line, we could do that as well. I'm not going to take the time to do that for now. Next one. On this one, it says represent each sum on a number line. Guys, first figure out the sum. This is difference and subtract. It's going to be a positive 3. So you guys would have a number line. 0 would be here, 1, 2, 3. And right there would be the answer for that one, okay? The next one, 3 plus a negative 2, different sign subtract, that's a positive 1. It would be right here. On this one, negative 2.5 plus a negative 2.5, that same sign's adding key. That actually gives you a negative 5. So that would be over here at negative 5. I'm running out of room. Way over here, okay? And then over here, 4.5 plus a negative 4.5, that's a different sign subtract. That's actually 0. It's right here. Next one. On this, which expression is equivalent to 4/5 minus 2/3? Well, guys, if you're looking at this, remember a minus sign is the same thing as adding the opposite. So looks like that one's good. This one would be plus a positive, not good. You can't switch subtraction around and it's not addition there. So it's got to be this one right here. A minus sign is the same thing as adding the opposite. Next thing. Trey owes his dad $1.75. He owes his sister $2.50. Represent the total amount Trey owes on a number line. Guys, first, if he owes somebody $1.75, he's negative $1.75 in the hole. If he owes his sister $2.50, he's going to be another minus $2.50. So in this case, it's really same signs add and keep. So you guys would actually add these together, and you guys end up getting $4.25. So you know it was a negative $4.25. So on a number line, that would be over here. So you have 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and it'd be slightly past there. So then, let's see here, the next one. On this one, it says the temperature in town A is negative 4 degrees Celsius. The temperature in town B is 1 degree Celsius. Represent the difference between the temperatures in town A and town B on a number line. Fill in the blank to complete the sentence. The temperature in town A is how many degrees colder than in town B? Well, negative 4 is way over here. Positive 1 is way over here. You have 0, you have negative 1, negative 2, and negative 3. So town A is here, town B is here. That's a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a distance of 5 degrees Celsius there. Next one, which expressions are equivalent to this? So guys, what I would recommend first is that you would actually distribute this, because all these over here are distributed. Negative 4 times 3, we'd say that's negative 12, right? Of course. So we'd have negative 12, and then we'd have negative 4 times a negative 6 would be a positive 24. So if I'm looking at these, this doesn't make a negative 12 right here, so we know that can't be the answer. This one right here makes a negative 12, and this, a negative times a negative, is positive, so that's good right there. This one right here makes a negative 12, but this makes a positive 24, so we're good on that one. This one right here makes a positive 12, so that's not any good, so we know that can't be it. It's B and C. Next, on this right here, which expressions are equivalent to negative 20 over 4? Well, the negative could go anywhere. There's just one negative in this problem, so the answer is negative. So we know that's going to be negative. This one has two negatives, so that's positive. This has one negative. That one's good, and this one doesn't have any negatives, so it's positive. One negative makes it negative in multiplication division. Next one. Michele walks 2/3 of a mile every 1/6 of an hour. What is the unit rate in which Michele walks in miles per hour? Guys, if you have 2/3 of a mile every 1/6 of an hour, that's a rate. You guys could set up a proportion. Okay, we want to know how many miles in 1 hour. Okay, it's unit rate. It's whenever 1 is on the bottom. So we go ahead and we cross multiply here. We end up getting 2/3 equals 1/6 x. You guys would divide by 1/6 on both sides. So this is 2/3 divided by 1/6. 2/3 divided by 1/6. Dividing fractions, hey, that's easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply. You're going to end up getting 12 on the top, 3 on the bottom. That's going to be 4 miles every 1 hour. Next thing, this one right here. Last year, Kim earned $8 per hour at her job. This year, Kim earns $10 per hour at her job. What is the percent of increase in dollars earned per hour from last year to this year? Guys, when we're talking about a percent of increase, that's when we find the increase, or the big minus the small, the 10 minus 8, which is 2. And we divide by the original. The original is what we had last year, 8. So in this case, 2 divided by 8 is going to be 0.25, and that's going to end up being 25%. The original says from last year to this year, so last year is where we start. Next one. On this right here, it says found the value of each expression. You just got to know your multiplication division rules is really what it comes down to. 7 times a negative 8 is a negative 56. This right here is an add the opposite, so it's going to be same signs add and keep, to give you negative 81. On this one right here, it's a division problem. There's one negative, so we know the answer is negative. And if you work this out, you might have to work it out off to the side. 6 goes into 9 one time. Subtract, you get 3. Bring down the 8. 6 goes into 38. That's going to be 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract, you're going to get 2. And you guys could be done right there, because you guys could say these 16 and 2/6, otherwise known as negative 16 and 1/3, or 16.3 repeating. On this one right here, this would be add the opposite, same, or they're different signs, subtract. So you would have to come over here and do 9 3/4 minus 5 2/3, and you know the bigger sign is negative, so you know your answer will be negative. And you guys could work through that whole thing, get a common denominator, okay? It'd be 12, and you guys could finish this up. Actually, I might as well do it now. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1/12. And 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. So we get negative 4 and 1/12. And then on this one right here, you have negative 5.2 times 8 times the negative 3/4. So you just got to work from left to right, guys. And again, you just would do this first, do your multiplication, and then you do times the fraction. It's really not too bad. If you wanted to change this fraction to a negative 0.75, that would work as well. I'm not going to take the time to do it right now. Next one. The temperature in town A is negative 3.5 degrees Celsius. The temperature in town B is 2.5 times colder. What is the temperature in town B? Well, guys, it's 2.5 times colder, so we're actually doing negative 3.5 times 2.5. You guys do your multiplication. You guys end up getting 175 on the first row. Add a 0. 2 times 5 is going to be 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Add these bad boys up. You're going to end up getting 875. We have 2 numbers beyond the decimal, 2 numbers beyond the decimal, and there was 1 negative, so the answer is negative 8.75 degrees Celsius. Next, On this, Larry bought 3 bags of apples and 1 bag of oranges at the store. The apples cost $1.75 per pound, 3 pounds of apples and 1 bag of oranges at the store. The apples cost $1.75 per pound and the bag of oranges cost $2.99. What was the total cost of Larry's purchase? Well, first figure out the price of 3 pounds of apples. 3 times 1.75 is going to give you guys $5.25 for apples, and he bought 1 bag of oranges at $2.99. So all we have to do is add these up. You line up the decimals. 5 plus 9 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 plus 9 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 8. You get $8.24 as your answer. All right, guys, you could figure out tax. This is do not include tax. But the joke for the day is this. What? Or how do you get an elephant out of the water? How do you get an elephant out of the water? Guys, this is it. You get him wet. He's wet when you get him out. How do you get an elephant out of water? Wet. Have a great one. Bye.